All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about something that's, massively misunderstood: the hidden world of ADHD in women. We're calling this one masked minds. Okay, so let me ask you something. When I say ADHD, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Seriously, what's that image? I'm going to guess that for a lot of you, it's a little boy, right? Maybe bouncing his leg, can't sit still in his chair at school. And hey, you're not alone. That is the classic stereotype. But what if that's only half the story? What if that single image is actually making a whole group of people, well, invisible? And that's where we get to the heart of it. There's this huge gap, right, between the stereotype and what's really going on. And that gap, it's created a hidden crisis, particularly for women. So to really get this, we have to talk about one key idea: masking. Think of it like this. It's a full-time job you didn't apply for. It's this constant, exhausting performance to hide your ADHD traits just to fit in, to seem normal. I love this quote because it just nails it. It's like your brain is a computer, and on top of everything else you're trying to do, there's this extra invisible program running in the background 24/7, and its only job to make you act neurotypical. It is absolutely draining. Okay, so if the classic signs are hidden behind this mask, what are the real traits? What should we actually be looking for? Well, let's pull back the curtain and unmask them. This right here is so important. On one side, you've got the myth, that classic external hyperactivity. The kid who's literally bouncing off the walls. But the reality for so many women is totally different. It's an internal restlessness. So on the outside, they might look perfectly calm, cool, and collected, but inside, their mind is going a million miles an hour. And this quote just captures that feeling perfectly, doesn't it? The body is still, but the mind is running a marathon, and there's no finish line. It's not about physical energy, it's about this relentless mental race that's happening all the time. All right, let's talk about another one. Have you ever done this? You sit down to do a quick task just for 5 minutes, and then you look up and whoa, 2 hours have just vaporized. Or, the other way around, where 5 minutes of a boring task feels like an actual eternity? Yeah, that's a real thing. It's called time blindness. And let's be super clear, this has nothing to do with being lazy or irresponsible. It's a real neurological thing where your brain just perceives time differently. It makes it almost impossible to estimate how long something's going to take, which is why deadlines can just sneak up, I don't know. So here's the takeaway. What everyone else sees as procrastination, a lot of the time, it's really just someone operating on a completely different internal clock. That sense of urgency that other people feel, it just doesn't fire up in the same way. So what does this masking process actually look like day to day? Well, it's this exhausting 4-step loop running over and over. First, you're constantly observing, scanning the room, trying to figure out the social rules. Then you mimic what you see. You copy the normal behaviors. At the same time, you're intensely suppressing your own natural impulses, like the urge to fidget or interrupt. And the final step? You criticize yourself, constantly grading your own performance, and usually you're a pretty harsh judge. And you can imagine, right, living like that every single day, it's just not sustainable. It comes at a huge, huge cost. So let's talk about the real price of wearing that mask. The emotional toll is just devastating. We're talking chronic anxiety, always worried you'll be found out, that constant feeling of being an imposter. And the energy it takes, it leads to this deep, soul-crushing burnout. And of course, if you spend your whole life feeling like there's something wrong with you, it's no surprise that it can lead to low self-esteem and even depression. And I really want to stress this. This is so much more than just being tired. It's a bone-deep exhaustion. It's the kind of tired you get from spending an entire lifetime trying to be someone you're not. So that leaves us with this one big question to think about. What could these masked minds achieve? What incredible creativity and brilliance could they unleash on the world if they were finally seen, finally understood, and finally supported for exactly who they are?